Bible Church. Bigger, stronger, and bolder.
Anybody dealing with you, anybody you are dealing with, always remember that there is a God factor. God, a day. Ma bajao, ma babino, ma bajao, ma babino, ono loro bati aye, eju bajao, ono loro bati setie, eju bajao. Don't fight me, oh, no vex for me. Because God gave my back, no fight me. So. Because God deal with me, I beg, no vex for me. Because any butterfly when mistakenly go jump shuku shuku, if I go cheer. Anybody who takes you for granted, they are in for a surprise. The God whom you serve, He is the same yesterday. He is the same today. He is the same forever. If you believe it, wave your hand and shout yes. Anybody when they look you say you be who you be? No. Make them look your back. They know they look you well. Now you that they see, but somebody there your back. Even you know they see him, but he there your back. Ah, Jesus. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. They forget the God factor. That was why Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses. In Psalm 35, verse 21, David said, they have opened their mouth wide against me. In the second part of verse 25, David said to God, God, don't let them say that they have swallowed me up. In the first part of verse 26, look at it there, verse 26, he said, let them be ashamed and brought to confusion. Confusion. Lift your right hand up. Everybody in the building, up and down, wherever you are watching from, raise your right hand. Say, in the name of Jesus, anyone, everyone that speaks against me, that fights against me, that is troubling my life, in the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, be ashamed and be brought to confusion. Clap your hands, open them out, open your mouth, open your mouth. Clap your hands, open them out. Oh yes. Oh yes. I may not know who they are. Let them be ashamed. Let them be confused. Let them be ashamed. Let them be confused. Genesis chapter 37, verse 18. 10 of Joseph's brothers conspired to, the Bible, the King James says, to slay him. But they failed. Why? They forgot the God factor. They failed. They failed. Instead, the man became prime minister. The person that they planned to kill ended up becoming prime minister. Nobody knows where you are going. Oh. Look, you will arrive at your destination. In this life, I said you will arrive at your destination. If you believe me, let me hear your amen like fire, like fire, like fire, like fire, like fire, like fire. In Genesis chapter 50, verse 20, Joseph said to these same brothers, he said, you thought evil against me. He said, but God
Met
God
it for good.
He don't turn them around. He turn them around.
What the enemy meant for evil, God has turned it around. He has turned it around. What the enemy meant for shame, oh, God has turned it around for my good.
So shall it be in Jesus' name. We must turn. A minimum so, now me talk so. Because God don't talk so. It must turn around for your good. Amen. Look at it, look at it. It's turning around for your good. Micah chapter 7 verse 8.
Rejoice not against me, O my enemy.
Rejoice not against me, O my enemy.
When I fall, I shall arise.
When I fall, I will arise.
When I sit
when
in
I
darkness,
sit in darkness, the Lord shall be a light,
unto
a
me.
light, a light, a light. I command every darkness in your life to begin to go, to begin to go. Any darkness that made you shed tears, darkness that confused your life, I command darkness to go. Let darkness go, make it go. Let it go from your life. Let darkness go from your life. If you believe it, let me hear your amen like fire. Everybody say darkness go. Sit down. Anyone that want to make darkness permanent in your life, they lie. We move darkness away from your life. Let darkness move from your life. Let it 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 go. Darkness go. Go, 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 go. Go. Let's go back to Numbers chapter 12. This time, verse 4. There are many things there, but let me put it this way. Suddenly, God replied Miriam and Aaron. Yes, he called 3 of them, but he was actually addressing 2 people. Suddenly, he spoke unexpectedly. Because Miriam, who started the rebellion, forgot the God factor.
What if Life Bible Church? Bigger, stronger, and bolder.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Alright, my name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst, also one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright guys, back again, yes boss, my name is Osh Baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up people, it's your boy Victor Adi.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife, and just celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
As you know, you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere or I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different. Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Alright, my name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst, also one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright guys, back again, yes boss, my name is Osh Baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up people, it's your boy Victor Adi.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife, and just celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
As you know, you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere or I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Ruth Gender Foundation.
I'm Ruth Edema Collins. I hold a first degree in physics electronics, a postgraduate qualification in business administration, and a nationally certified French language tutor. Career-wise, I'm an educational facilitator. I'm the managing director at Atlantic Media and TV, and I'm also a director at Vocotech Integrated Services Nigeria. Limited. I'm a wife and a mother, and I like dressing up to show up. Yeah, so that's basically me. Thank you. Root Gender Foundation was inspired from my personal experiences growing up as a young girl in a typical Nigerian environment. For me, it was being different. It made people bully me, abuse me, and harass me. I was always misunderstood and underrated. Root Gender is a foundation that is dedicated to building confidence in the Nigerian girl child through educational and inspirational programs, like supporting programs that promote girl child education. We also organize physical exercises for our young girls for the overall well-being of their mental and physical states, and also for the acquisition of self-defense skills. We also sensitize girls on laws that protect them in our constitution. A lot of girls do not know that they have rights, that there are laws that protect their interests in Nigeria. Hence, they are vulnerable, they are living in fear, which is stopping them from reaching their full potentials. So we sensitize them on the laws that protect their interests. This, like I said, is visioned towards building confidence in the Nigerian girl child. So that is just a wrap up of what we do at Root Gender Foundation. I would say I resonate with the struggles and the challenges of the girl child, particularly the Warri girl child. I happen to grow up in the heart of Warri. I'm from an average background. My family is an average one, but I experienced a lot. Like I said, I was bullied, I was overlooked, I was harassed for being a different child, for daring to be different. And nobody was taking note and tapping into my potentials. So my interest for the girl child is I would love to be a voice for the girl child. They need people to believe in them. They need people to speak for them. I also want the Warri girl child to know that there is hope beyond the reef. I want them to see the bigger picture. I want them to know that they can compete on global platforms. They can compete on international platforms, and they can do very well. We have the likes of Ada Gold, or Maumi, and the rest of them. They are all competing very well on international platforms, and I know that you too can do that, and I want you to know that is why we are here. Root Gender Foundation is here to make you understand that you can actually be what you want to be. As part of our objectives at Root Gender Foundation, we are dedicated to promoting girl child education. Like I said, I represent the brand Warri Girl Child. I represent the brand the African Girl Child, because I have gone through the struggles from there to here. So giving 2 million to the best female participants is just a way to share them on. It's just a way to make them know that we believe in you. I believe in you. You can look up to us. We are sharing you on. It is not about the money. We believe in your potential. We want our girls to know that you are doing the right thing at the right time. You are in the right place, and this is what you should be doing. That's why we are supporting you, and we will always be here to support you. Girl child empowerment to me is enforcing laws that protect our girl child. You know, my NGO, we've been pursuing a bill that we will see to be passed. We are asking that our girls should be allowed to carry pepper spray as weapons of self-defense. Because if you look at it, our women have nothing to protect themselves. They are just there by the grace of God. So we are pursuing laws that will protect the girl child. So empowerment, girl child empowerment to me is enforcing laws that protect the girl child, educating the girl child on time and money management, financial literacy, and equipping them with self-defense skills. Also, access to quality education. This to me is girl child empowerment and nothing more. A girl child must possess effective communication skills. They should be able to communicate effectively. A girl child should be financially literate. She should know how to manage her finances, and she should also know how to manage her time. Yes. Also, most importantly, another skill is self-awareness. It's important for our girls to know who they are, to believe in themselves. That's the vision of our NGO, building confident girls that can achieve their full potentials in Nigeria. That is our NGO's vision. So yeah, those are some of the skills I believe that the girl child should possess. She needs role models. She needs people that have dared that path and have made it. Our young girls need role models. That's why we have to do better. We have to do the work. We have to bridge the gap. We have to share them on like we are doing. You can achieve your dreams. First, you have to make education your best friend. Every effort you put into learning will always be there for you, to never fail you. Boys will break your heart, people will break your heart, but every effort you put towards learning anything, everything will always come through for you. So for you to achieve your dreams, look towards the right people, look towards the right direction. There are people that have achieved in that route. I will encourage you to look up to them, learn from them. That is just the way to achieve your dreams. My message to the Warri Child, like I said, I represent the brand Warri Girl Child. We are letting the world know that we are not vile, we are not roused, we are educated, we compete intellectually, we have good things ahead of us. We can do it on the global platform, we can do it on the national platform, and we are everything there is to be a woman. I would encourage you, Warri Girl Child, make education your best friend. Make education your best friend. Learn new things. Learn new languages. Okay? And the sky will be your starting point. We are always here to share you up. Don't forget that my name is Ruth Edema Collins from Root Gender Foundation, and from all of us wishing you the best, we say keep watching Atlantic TV.
Ruth Gender Foundation.
When the lights go out, who do you call? Ticado! Ticado Energy Solutions Limited, your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Ticado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Ticado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at ticado.com.ng. Tikado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace. Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Workers should be strictly adhered to. It looks as if there will be a showdown between the Delta State government and the Nigerian Labour Congress of the state. Well, with that in mind, I want to really welcome you to another great time on television. We're talking about Atlantic TV. It is Viewpoint, and my name is Mike Egobadia.
And I am Mercy Irabo. You know how we do it right here on Viewpoint. Once again, welcome to Viewpoint on Atlantic TV. And you know, for today, we're starting with the dailies and to the dialogue, the news, and of course, trending. And you know how we do it right on trending. And I have loads and loads of gist for you today. And of course, you know, you can engage with us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, at Atlantic Media and TV. Well, let's go on a quick break. And when we return, it's over the dailies.
My name is Desaka, comedy catalyst. I want of Nigerian comedy.
All right, guys, back again. Yes, boss. My name is Osh, baby.
CME Alade.
Yeah, what up, people? It's your boy Victor 80.
Girl Ninyola.
My name is my wife and just celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Well, it's now time we go straight to the dailies. And for review today, we have 5 papers. We have The Punch, The Vanguard, The Guardian, The Nation, and these days making a return as it concerns the papers today. Well, let's see if we quickly go to The Punch as we start off the papers this lovely morning. And on The Punch newspaper, the leading story reads, federal government unveils agric reforms, moves to create 21 million jobs. Woo! It will be a nice one, especially as they are trying to push for the reduction of food price. Fresh incentive will boost food production, free Nigerians from seasonal dependencies, says Vice President Kashim Shettima. AFAN, others endorse measures, seeks timely intervention, women farmers tax federal government on loan and others. And I'll just implore you to get more of that story on page 2 of The Punch. Let's see if we take some other leading stories, especially at the top mass of The Punch this morning. Oil reforms drive $18.2 billion deals as the federal government is giving us more hope on page 21. Army arrests notorious IPOP commander in Imo, and that's the cherry news on page 2. NAMA pushes for tariff hike, airlines kick, and you know why they're kicking, but just get more of that story on page 22. And Tinubu returns to Abuja after cutting short Paris leave, and you can leave, or don't leave that story, just get more of it on page 20 of The Punch newspaper. Let's see if we take some other major stories just beneath the picture of the day. And at the bottom outside, federal government predicts fresh flooding in Lagos 13 states, where it looks as if the rains have started. It rained heavily yesterday and the day before yesterday in Delta. But I'll implore you to get more of that story on page 2. 4 hospitalized as fire guts 2 Lagos building. And honestly, Mercy, that story was trending on all social media yesterday. We could see that daring rescue that happened yesterday. But I'll just implore you to get more of that story on page 4 and 5 of The Punch. Don't derail Awujele's re-election, or selection rather. Council warns ruling houses. And I'll just implore you to take more of that story on page 7. But what is also on page 7 on The Punch is how Nigeria can attain global power. And these are credited to the Lagos State Governor Sanwo-Olu as he's trying to put Lagos on the map, world map, as it concerns not just infrastructural development, but indeed business and tourism. Well, anyway, that's much you can take from The Punch.
All right, let's see what The Nation has for us this morning. The major story here reads, Tinubu reform revolutionary, and the writer says Speaker Dogara, president inherited a comatose economy. Well, you can read that on page 2 of the paper. Let's see what we have at the top mass. Sanwo-Olu, Lagos, critical to Nigeria's world power dream. That's still on page 2 of the paper. Okpewolo unveils roadmap to reform education in Edo State. That's on page 5 of the paper. PDP's open tickets in line with Olawekpo Hashim's position on zoning. That's on page 27 of the paper. Yes, the picture of the day, we can see that is a very big picture right there. Well, it's a tribute to the former IGP of police, Mohammed Abubakar Adamu, CFR. Well, this is coming from the Adamu Progressive Youth Forum, Nasarawa State. Well, that's all we're taking this morning on The Nation. Let's see what this day has for us. The lead story here says, APC to Atiku, instigating anarchy degrading to your status as ex-VP. Well, that's on page 36 of the paper. To the top mass, NUPRC, reforms in oil, gas sector have delivered $18 billion FDPs in 2025. And the writer says, Komolafe, new changes evident in Bonga North, $5 billion FID and others. Lakbobiri seeks regional integration to tackle Africans' $120 billion oil import bill. Well, you can read more of that story on page 9 of the paper. Dangote Refinery, Vital Sunoco take first petrol cargo to U.S. Glencore Shell take second. Well, that's on page 6 of the paper. Yes, this day is still celebrating the former IGP of police, and this tribute is from Alhaji Abubakar Shehu Usman Sandaji, the Turaki of Lafia. Well, that's all we're taking this morning on this day newspaper. Let's see what the Guardian has for us. Yeah, the lead story here says, insider threats, low confidence hobbled $14 billion aviation targets. That's on page 6 of the paper. Let's see what we have at the top mass. PDP throws 2027 presidential tickets open to all regions. Wow, that's on page 4 of the paper. Food, transport, housing, others remain key inflation driver. That's on page 4 of the paper. Atiku meets U.S. envoy in Abuja, flays tribalism in Nigeria. Well, that's on page 4 of the paper. Right at the side mass, Obi decries normalization of violence as Kwara youth make the stress call. Well, you can read that on page 29 of the paper. Yeah, to the bottom mass, Tinubu returns as Fubara sets for reinstatement. Labour Party seeks emergency rule probe. Well, that's on page 6 of the paper. A federal government is insensitive to doctors' welfare. Well, this is coming from the Nigerian Medical Association. Well, you can read more of that on page 7 of the paper. Sowore files countersuit as DSS sues him, X and Meta over anti-Tinubu post. Well, we've been talking about the story. You can read more of that on page 5 of the paper. Still at the bottom, Mass International Day. Lagos warns against using ozone-depleting gases for refrigerators and others. Well, that's on page 7 of the paper. Crude output improves as Nigeria records first full pipeline availability in 20 years. That's on page 28 of the Guardian newspaper. And for the picture of the day, but we'll have a chart that highlights how insider involvement, so this is talking about the lead story, how insider involvement in drug trafficking, unruly passengers, and security lapses are major threats, preventing Nigeria from achieving its aviation targets. Well, that's all we're taking this morning on the Guardian newspaper. Up next is the Vanguard.
Well, anyway, on the Vanguard newspaper, which, funny enough, is the last paper for review. And, well, let's see if we take the leading story. And the leading story reads, hopes, mixed views as emergency ends tomorrow. And we're talking about the issue of River State. Well, some kickers to that. Ibas asks residents to nurture peace already built. Elders sue for unity. Fubara returning as a conquered man, says CUPP and governance may suffer, says Okore, AGPA's or APGA founding chairman. PDP wants Fubara against defection, demands probe of interim rule, and Tinubu returns from vacation. But anyway, don't go away from that paper. Just read more of that story, especially on page 5 of the Vanguard. Let's see if we take some other leading stories just at the top side of the Vanguard. And private depot deserted as Dangote refinery begins direct fuel supplies. Well, forgive me for laughing. It looks as if most of those private depots will not be happy about this, but I'll just implore you to get more of that story on page 19. Federal government dragged Showore Facebook X to court over criminal post against President Tinubu is a major one on page 6. NIN SIM linkage reduces fraud and boosts national security. Well, the president seems to also be screaming out that loud on page 8. Bandit commander Ado Alero kills traditional ruler in Tisfe in Zamfara. It's a very disturbing story that you can get on page 9. Experts disagree as presidency says inflation will drop to single digit. Well, anyway, I just hope that will happen. But I'll just tell you to take more of that story on page 20. Let's see if we take some other leading stories just at the sidemas of the Vanguard. Lagos key to attaining Nigerians' global influence. And the governor, someone who seems to be screaming out that on page 10. But let's see if we take some other leading stories just beneath. Food security. Federal government unveils new agric investment incentives. It's a screamer on page 8. But what's more of a laugh? And I know, Mercy, you laugh about this. Nigerian professors earn gardeners 3-hour pay. Wow. Ex-OAU VC and Bimbola is letting us know that. But I'll let you know that Papa Oyoyo, and that's the picture of the day, President Tinubu getting a warm handshake, has been welcomed back in Abuja. And well, anyway, that happened yesterday, and you could see dignitaries right there, especially those from the executive. I'm talking about the Secretary to the Government of the Federation right there, and others cheering him up and in all smiles welcoming Papa Oyoyo back to Nigeria. Well, anyway, that's the much you can take from the Vanguard and all the papers all put together. Well, anyway, some major highlight seems to be especially on the front pages of the dailies. And one I want us to look at quickly is the issue that seems to be major, and that's the Dangote now finally distributing fuel to filling stations directly. And it looks as if many private depots would definitely run out of business. But many Nigerians, Mercy, are saying it's a good thing because now you're having direct fuel being supplied from Dangote refinery to the marketers, and we might just be cutting down on the price of delivery to these services. And maybe at the end, it will also reflect it's just an option and a hope. It will reflect on the pump price being sold to consumers. Is it a cherry one?
The truth is, we discussed this sometime.
And that's why I'm bringing you back to
on Monday, we discussed this, and I said, everybody's fighting for their pockets. That is just the thing. Greed. It's not like Nigeria is supposed to be a better place. I think if everybody just decides to be well behaved, not everybody trying to fight for their pockets.
You're right.
If we are selfless, let me put it that way. But in as much as this is a good one from the Dangote Refinery Company, I really hope that it's really help in the reduction of fuel prices. I really hope it works this time around. Okay.
But anyway, what I know is working and will definitely work is the issue of Fubara coming back to office. Well, Ibas has done his Thanksgiving and also his tenure as the interim emergency rule leader in Rivers seemed to have come to an end. And there's every likelihood that Governor Similayae Fubara will definitely take the helms of affair in Rivers. And one that's also making the rounds, especially on the front page of the Vanguard this morning. Well, Fubara finally coming.
Yeah, he's coming. At least Tinubu was able to sort the issue between Fubara and Wiki. Well, this issue is, I don't know, but I hope everything is sorted, and coming back to office, I am happy for him. Congratulations to him that he's coming back to office. That's all I can say about it.
Well, anyway, I know Mercy is trying to be modest. She said a lot behind
when you are saying a lot, but you don't want to say a lot.
She said a lot behind the camera as it concerns this story. Anyway, let me just leave her the way it is and let her have her view. Well, anyway, it looks as if Fubara will be having the final laugh. But UPP feels that he's already been guided And PDP is also warning him not to defect to the APC because there's every news on the round that there seems to be a defection when the time comes. But anyway, the time is also here. We seem to have a few more time to talk about some major, especially as it concerns the dailies. And one that also is sad one is the killing of the traditional ruler by a bandit head. That happened in Zamfara. It's quite a sad one. And it goes to reflect the growing insecurity in the country, especially in the northwest and the northeast that seem to be ravaged with a whole lot of insurgency and bandit activity. It's a sad one, and one Nigerians are really not happy about. And I just hope the needed security will be put in place to at least keep people safe. If a whole traditional head of a village can be killed, then who are the ordinary villagers or citizens in that community? Sad one that played out just yesterday.
Yeah, very sad one. It's a really sad story. But there's this story I really want us to talk about. It's this issue of a Sowore trying to countersuit DSS and the federal government. Like, I just feel this guy is, should I use the word stubborn?
Well,
Do
anyway.
you know he started this trend on social media now?
Yes.
Hashtag Tinubu is a, and he's asking people to repost and all of that. He said, let us make it trend. Like, they're suing you to court for this thing, and you are still asking people to make it trend. You are like, this guy is still standing his ground. And you know what? He said he wasn't the first person to say it. No. He dropped some books when Gani Fahe, yes, when that one,
late Gani Fahe.
Yes, when he talked about that one, also said the same thing. So he said the statement is not coming from him. He's actually saying what somebody said.
But anyway, we'll not talk much about it because we know we don't want to sound prejudiced. We know the issue is already in court.
Yeah.
That the federal government and DSS put in a suit yesterday against him, X, and also, Meta, the owners of Facebook and all of that. And well, he seemed to also have a counter suit. And just like Mercy said, it looks as if it's going to be a long war because it's going to drag on for a very long time. But anyway, the time do we have? Yes, we still have a few more minutes to talk about some major stories also on the front page. And the major issue we're still looking at is that there's every prediction that 13 states will be affected with flood in the coming days ahead. And it's one that is already giving a whole lot of Nigerians a reason to be concerned, especially looking at the heavy downpour that happened not just only day before yesterday, but also yesterday in Delta State.
It's been on since Monday.
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday. So it's just like everyday rain. And at this point, maybe we should start being scared or what. I don't know. If only there was a solution to this whole thing. But
well, we just hope that when it comes to the issue of proper urban planning, which we also took a critical look just last week on Dialogue, more needs to be done to ensure that we do not suffer on our own account and negligence as it concerns proper disposal of refuge, and also persons not blocking the waterway or the water channel that naturally are there and increase the incidence of flooding, especially in major urban areas. But anyway, I doubt if we still have more time to take any more, and I'll just implore you, as we always will say, please go get these papers and read up and get really abreast with what seems to be happening in the country. But we'll go on a break now, and remember, we'll have dialogue, a two-point dialogue, one that will be talking critically about the issue of peace, especially as it concerns Delta State. We know something happened yesterday, and we'll be addressing all of that on a major aspect of dialogue. And not only that, we'll be also looking at the issue of where data should be, especially as a people, knowing that the government seems to be doing more and intends to do more, but there's also growing call that more needs to be done. We'll be critically looking at all of that on the later half, and that's when it's dialogue. Let's go on a break, and we'll be ready for all of that.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
I am SP Dafe Bright and this is Delta State Police Command. Today we'll be treating and addressing an issue that's different from what we've been doing before. Not parading suspect this time, but bringing to you a very important information. Do we know that over 85% of Nigerians do password their phones, whether it's Android phones or iPhones? There's always a password. But how come when we lose our phones, by the time we go to retrieve our lines, we'll go to our bank to check our bank statement, we discover that these people who collected these phones must have siphoned the phones. Now, there are times the people who steal these phones, it is not your phone that they actually need. What they need is your SIM card. Now, how does the SIM card become useful to them? Not just any SIM card, but a SIM card that is linked to your bank account, the one that you usually use to receive SMS alerts. That is what they need. Now, by the time they collect your phone, steal your phone, rob you of your phone, what they do is that they remove this SIM card from your phone and insert it on another phone. So your phone does not really need to power on. They don't even need you to give them your phone password. They don't even need your ATM password. The moment they have access to your SIM card, they can do anything they want to do with your bank account, because all they need is to generate an OTP, and the message, the OTP that is called one-time password, will be sent to that your SIM card, and with that they can do anything they want to do with your account. That is why people lose millions of their life savings simply because they lost their phone. By the side of this video, we'll be doing an illustration. You will see an illustration that talks on how you can password your SIM card. Now, the topic that we are here to discuss, passwording of SIM card. When you get a phone, pick that your phone now. See how you can password your SIM card. If you password your SIM card, by the time for any reason, your phone gets to the wrong hand, even if they remove your SIM card and insert on another phone, the first thing that you will get is a prompt that you should enter your SIM PIN. The moment they cannot get the SIM PIN, they cannot use your SIM card for anything. After the trial of 3, the POC prompt will come because the SIM card will be blocked, and you can only unblock that SIM card when you have the POC number. Some of us don't have our SIM pack, because on the SIM pack it is written there the SIM PIN and the POC number. But because some of us don't have our SIM pack, I would advise you to quickly locate the nearest office of your service provider, be it Airtel, Globalcom or MTN. Approach them and request for your POC number. Once you've gotten your POC number, you follow these instructions and ensure that you password your SIM PIN. Your SIM PIN is very, very important. On my phone, for instance, once you turn off the phone and you turn it back on, you must enter your SIM PIN. If you cannot enter your SIM PIN, the SIM card will be useless. And I'm telling you, once they cannot have access to your SIM card, your money will be safely in the bank. They cannot have access to. There was a time I lost my phone, and it took me about 2 weeks to go to MTN office to retrieve my SIM card. Why did I wait 2 weeks? Because I knew I had a SIM PIN. I knew they would not have access to my bank account. I knew they cannot even use my SIM card for anything. Some of these people, when they steal phone, we'll be hoping that, we'll track the phone. Some of them don't even sell the phone. They will just condemn the phone and just get the SIM card to see if they can have your money. Please, they say a word is enough for the wise. It is very, very important. Don't see this video and just pass it by. Watch this video to the end. We're almost approaching the end of the video. Ensure that you take the lesson. Please password your SIM card. They say a stitch in time save 9. It's very, very important. Make haste when the sun shines. Not be to come. You don't have to start running and start saying, what do I do? What do I do? When you can prevent it. Let's not forget, prevention, they say, is better than cure. Thank you.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
All right, guys, back again. Yes, boss. My name is Baby.
Yeah, what up, people? It's your boy Victor 80.
My name is my wife, Niger Celebrity Type Man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere or I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV. We wanna party.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Well, we need to welcome you to this edition of Dialogue, and in doing so, we'll look at something that played out yesterday, a very disturbing one that resulted in the adoption and the shooting of a person. And many in Delta states are really worried about the new development that seemed to play out yesterday, and there's every need for us to look at it. And we're talking about the issue of some banners as being claimed by some persons that were removed. And because of that, they went attacking and also doing a whole lot that seems to bring about the breakdown of law and order in the state. And we're talking about Warri South, to be precise. And I will be looking at that very issue. And indeed, to help us talk about this is no other person but Chief Robinson Areyo. And he's a legal practitioner and also one that will be helping us to give an insight of what truly played out yesterday. I want to welcome you, sir. Good morning and welcome to Atlantic.
Thank you very much, and a very good morning to viewers and listeners at home.
Okay, now, let's understand what really happened yesterday with this new wave of aggression that we saw yesterday. On social media was awash with a whole lot that played out yesterday. And it got many Deltans, especially those from Warri North and Warri South, truly concerned. Okay. And so I want us to really understand this new wave of aggression, especially as being said, is coming from Ijaw youth. What really transpired yesterday?
Well, to put my answer in perspective, it is good for us to lay the background for all that transpired.
Okay.
Now, what culminated in the crisis of yesterday started well about 7 years ago.
7 years ago?
Yes. When, of course, we all understand that there are 3 local government council areas that make up the Warri Federal Constituency. You have the Warri North, the Warri South, and Warri Southwest.
Yes.
The community called Ogbijo is in Warri Southwest.
Yes.
The incident, the scene of this crisis is Warri South, a different local government council area.
Okay.
Now, let us understand that the legal headquarters of Warri Southwest is Ogidigbe. When I say legal headquarters, as far as the documentations are concerned. Because when these local government council areas were created, there was a federal gazette. That gazette still bears Ogidigbe. Now, because of lawlessness, somehow the local government headquarters has been put in Ogbijo, a community that shares boundary with Alaja. Now,
and that is in Warri
Southwest, not Warri South. Okay. This incident is not only in Warri South, but is spread across the secretariat, the front of Warri South.
Okay.
Now, the point is this. About 7 years ago, and I want to say this because this is a new strategy.
Okay.
Now, the strategy in this federal constituency now is for, with all due respect, the judge to sneak and surreptitiously go to court without us knowing.
Okay.
For instance, the Supreme Court judgment that is causing this whole hula baloo about delineation was a judgment between just the Ijos and INEC alone.
Okay.
So they went to court in 2011 and proceeded because INEC was willing until they got to the Supreme Court without our knowing. So that is that. But regarding this crisis,
yes.
When the deputy governor, with all due respect, Kingsley Utwaro was deputy governor, they sneaked and went to court, asking that the Amakoso of Ogbijo in Warri Southwest be permitted to share in the traditional royalties in Warri South. So the case was proceeding when we heard. So as a chief, the Council of Chiefs advised me to file an application for joinder. We joined.
Okay.
When we now joined, we raised preliminary objection.
But you were not notified at the initial
We were not. We just heard and took an application to join. And the court looked at it that, you cannot be coming into Warri South to share in royalty when there's the traditional council there that will not be heard. Let them come, let them come and let us hear what they have to say.
Okay.
So we went there. When we went there, I did that case personally.
Okay.
We raised preliminary objection to the competence of the suit.
Okay.
Because their processes were not well filed.
Okay.
So when they saw our objection, they withdrew the suit. It was struck out. Then they now surreptitiously went to Asaba to file the same action, correcting the error that they had made. When they filed it there, they were afraid that somehow we might hear. They didn't bring it in the regular open court. They took it to the multi-door court. They applied that you should take it to the multi-door court. Multi-door court is an arbitration court where you go, not in the open.
Not in the public.
So they had proceeded. They were almost signing the terms of settlement, which would have been the judgment of court when we caught wind of it. Then we now took an application there and said that we were part of this case in Warri. They have come to Asaba. Let us be joined. So the arbitrator, and you can go and check it, that was the first time in the history of Delta State where we were dragging the multi-door court to court because the multi-door court said we cannot join.
Okay.
We said that is a deprivation of our fundamental right to be heard.
And not a part of the Constitution.
Yes.
9 as amended.
You understand? So even if you are not going to rule in our favor, let us be heard.
Yeah.
So we dragged them to court. When we dragged them to court, it got to the table of the chief judge. The chief judge now said, okay, we don't want this kind of embarrassment. Yeah. Join these people and let them be heard. Now, initially when we filed that action in Asaba, somehow the judge that was to hear it adjourned it sine die. Sine die means till
indefinite.
So that they will have time to do what they wanted to do. So we now discontinued that case and came to Warri and filed it. And we got the order of court that they should bring the processes to court, let them look at it, let the court look at it, whether it's compliant or not. So at that stage, it was becoming an embarrassment. They now said they will compromise. They will just join us and let them hear the case.
Okay.
So they joined us. That was 4 years ago. The judgment was delivered just last year.
Wow.
And the judgment says that the Amakoso of Ogbijo has no sharing in the royalty in Warri South. I have a copy of the judgment here. I would let you have it. Now, the lawyers who stood for them is another Ijo man, T.C. Williams. I personally did the case. Now, after we got judgment, they appealed to the Court of Appeal. We are still in the Court of Appeal.
Okay.
So what they have done now is that what they could not get through the court,
as they feel,
they now want to come physically. You see, in a sane society, in a society where there is rule of law, this kind of a thing should hand people in jail. And I've advised the Council of Chiefs that they should proceed in contempt. They will file Form 48 and serve on the king and his people. because there has to be rule of law.
Yeah.
So what now happened yesterday? For the first time in the history of the coronation, of the anniversary of the coronation of the Amakos of Ogbijo, they decided to bring banners into Warri South.
Which has never been done.
Which had never been done. Banners into, billboards into Warri South, where there is a king. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, that could only happen upon the consent or agreement of the king. Especially when this issue is sub judice. I heard you say just now that you don't want to comment on an issue that is sub judice.
Yes.
If you say you are aggrieved, you have gone to the Court of Appeal. Yes. So why are you coming to exercise that same right?
Yeah.
Are you trying to prejudice? In fact, if the Court of Appeal hears this, it will be terrible.
Yeah.
Because as we speak now, the judgment, this is the judgment.
Okay.
This is the judgment.
We'll definitely have it on screen.
Good. Yeah. This is the judgment. I did that case personally, and they lost. And they are not denying it. So why not wait if you think you have...
Because they were the one that filed for appeal.
Exactly. So if you think you have a case, why not wait? That's all we are saying. You cannot be provoking. It is, physically speaking, Warri Southwest is different from Warri South. Here is Warri South. And that is the problem we had even before Nigeria was formed. Part of the issues, challenges that the colonial masters had was the plight of minorities. Crying that if you establish this entity called Nigeria, that the minority will be suppressed. But at that time, the definition of minority did not include smaller micro-minority. Yeah. So that in Nigeria today, you find that even major tribes like Igbo are crying marginalization. So that in relation to the size, for example, in Delta State, Delta State as a whole, the Shekiris are minority. But in Warri Federal Constituency, the Shekiris are majority. I repeat.
Which is their general place, hereditary, history, and all of that is there.
So now, because you have a relatively bigger tribe like Ijaw, and you see that whenever you are talking about this issue involving the Ogbijo, the Ijaws of Ogbijo, the entire Ijaws, from Bayelsa, Bomadi, Burutu, Ondo, Edo, you know, we just gang up and focus on this place. So the point is that when they put the banners down even to the front of the secretariat, of course we petitioned the police and told the police that this is an act that is likely to breach public peace. And if anything at all, they should wait for the court. Because they have lost once. If anybody is in a position to exercise right, it is the judgment creditors. They are judgment debtors. Let them wait. Physically speaking, they are in Southwest. They are not in South. So if you were to talk about it physically, legally speaking, they are not in good stands. So the security operative now agreed. And asked that all the banners be removed.
And it was the security operative
that removed the banners.
Okay. Let's
so
understand.
They now mobilized. It was good. They now mobilized in anger. And came to attack the community. Now, in the meantime, the place where they are calling theirs, which is Bila Waterside, is not actually owned by them. If you go to that place, you will see that it's an heterogeneous set of people. Different people who came from different places. And you see that the houses they have, they are huts. The initial buildings are owned by an Ishekiri person. So the point is that we need to have the rule of law. We need to know that this society that we are in now was a society where before civility came in, we were living the life of ruthlessness, where life was short, brutish, and nasty, where it was the rule of might. But now we have surrendered our right to a sovereign called the government in exchange for the protection of our lives and property and for the provision and enabling environment for us to thrive. We are now civilized. It is no longer the case that you can just pick my wife because you have more strength, that you can pick my land because you have more strength. We now have government. So we are calling on the government and security operatives to perform their constitutional duties, which is to protect life and property and provide an enabling environment for business to thrive.
Okay, now, still talking about what played out yesterday, I love the way you gave us a full breakdown and major history of how of this started. But I'm also a bit concerned of what really happened yesterday, because it will give everybody every reason to be concerned. Now, please give us, because we're hearing information that 4 persons were adopted.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's get more information as it concerns that. And who are these persons that were adopted?
Yes. Now, the police is investigating the matter.
Okay.
Now, like I told you, the moment the banners were removed, they forcefully came to a state, a mode of anger. When I say falsely, there was no justification
for that anger.
Because one, like I have said, the law is not on your side. The geography of the area is not on your side. Your throne is in Ogbijo, Warri Southwest. So now you have come, you have done something, you have been corrected. Out of anger, you came to the unsuspecting community, attacked the community, and captured 4 persons who are currently in places where we don't
unaccounted for.
Unaccounted for. So the police has begun investigation, and we are providing information. The names are in a list in my car. We are providing information that will lead to the community, and we are also taking steps, because there are some persons from that ethnic nationality who are posting on the social media. They are all over there. I have copies of them, that they will attack, they will behead, they will do all sorts of things if these banners are not put back. And I ask the question, are we really practicing democracy in Nigeria, constitutional democracy, where somebody can come out? It is a replay of the state of nature for somebody to just come out and say, because you didn't allow me to do what I could not get in court, our heads will roll. So we have done a petition to the area command, against such people, because they are inciting violence.
Yes, most certainly.
Yes, they should allow the commerce of this town to thrive. So the names of those 4 people are with the police. The police is investigating, and we are hoping that the state governor will have the political will.
Because that's where I was going, and that's where I was almost coming to. Now, let's look at the place of the state government in this. I know yesterday when this broke out, we saw security agencies all around the place, but yet, like you said, they mobilized, came back, and did what they did. But this is more like a direct message to the state government, knowing that they are neck deep into resolving this. What message do you have for the state government as concerns this, and a quick fix not to bring about break of law and order?
Good. Now, my humble advice to His Excellency, the Governor of Delta State, and the Executive Council is that each person should remember that they took the oath of office to stand by the law, irrespective of whose horse is God. Now, this is the time to come out and stand by the law. And the Constitution clearly stipulates the function of government in office, which is to protect lives and property and provide an enabling environment. If you fail to do that, you cease to be government. Now, in a situation like this, what I expect and suggest the government should do is to set up a panel of inquiry to hear all parties, so that the facts can be laid bare. The fact is that the Shekiris are known not to be afraid of documentary evidence. That is their primary tool. And that is why all these cases, they are there. You can go and cross-check.
Verify.
So, you can verify. So set up a panel. That is the proper thing to do. Because the governor is not here. The governor does not know what the facts are. The panel should be so constituted as to ensure neutrality. Hear the parties, take all these documents, make recommendation, and a white paper be released. That is the way to go. That is the strategy to follow. That is my advice to the government.
Well, anyway, I would have really loved us to continue on this discussion, because, peace is always paramount. Like you said, without peace, development will definitely not come.
Absolutely.
And I just want a quick one before we let you go. We know how busy you are, especially as it concerns those 4 adopted persons, how much you hold in your heart that they should come back safe to their families. What advice will you have for Deltans overall?
My advice for Deltans overall is that they should have an open mind. Let us not stereotype. Examine the facts as they are presented to you, because I came to your studio a few minutes ago, and part of the clips I saw, speak to what I am talking about. You have areas where girls, Afghanistan, where girls were not allowed to go to school.
Yeah.
Those are the vulnerable components of the society.
Of course. By the Taliban. Yeah.
By the Taliban. So, if you look at history, we have always had the vulnerable components of the community, either by sex, or by number, numerical strength,
or by tribe,
or by color. Even in the United States of America, it was only recently that the blacks, relatively recently, that blacks were allowed to vote. And so, let us come together. An injury to a human being should be an injury to all. Let us analyze it. It is not a sin to be a minority. It's not a sin to be a black man. It's not a sin to be a woman. Let us focus on aiding the vulnerable components of the society and not gang up against them. That is my advice for Deltans. Let them look at the case on the merit. Because what goes around comes around.
Well, anyway, we would have loved to come around all of the discussion, but we need to let you go. And I'm talking of no other person, legal practitioner and also chief. And we're talking about Chief Robinson Ario. Thank you so much for adding this. And indeed, we just hope everything goes on well, especially as it concerns peace in the Great Warri Kingdom itself. Thank you so much for joining us on this. But for we will go on a break now, and when we come back, we'll continue dialogue. Another major one, second half of our discussion. Let's go on a break.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different. When the lights go out, who do you call? Ticado! Ticado Energy Solutions Limited, your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Tikado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Tikado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at tikado.com.ng. Tikado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace. Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Alright, my name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright, guys, back again. Yes, boss. My name is Osh, baby.
CME Alade.
Yeah, what up, people? It's your boy Victor 80.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife and just celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
As you know, you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV. We wanna party.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Now, a brewing standoff between Delta State government and the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC Delta State chapter, is threatening to escalate following the introduction of a new dress code policy for civil servants across the state. Governor Sheriff Oboriwori administration recently issued a circular mandating stricter standards of dress code for public servants aimed, as they seek to curb what it described as unpleasant practice of improper dressing in public services. The policy made public through the office of the head of service and decimated by the governor's new media aid office reference an earlier directive from March 12, 2009, which is now being reviewed and reflect what government officials call a new culture of decency. However, the policy has sparked outrage among public sector workers and their union representatives, who argue that the directive is out of touch and unfair considering the current economic realities faced by civil servants in the state. And they also stated that more emphasis should rather be on good working condition in offices where they lament about basic office supplies such as chairs, tables, pens, and other office accessories lacking in most government offices, and should rather be top priority for government and not dress code. Well, this impasse has once again sparked the debate on what direction Delta needs to follow if it wants to be regarded as the preeminent among other states and indeed the big heart of the nation. Hence, a need for us to talk about it on this edition of Dialogue as we look at Delta State and what direction Delta State needs to follow. And that's what we're having as a major one, creating a new direction for Delta State as it concerns governance and indeed all that seems to be in the state. And that's what we're having as a major one, more like part two of our initial discussion that we had a couple of weeks talking about Delta and the anniversary that it had in this creation some almost 34 years ago. Well, that's what we're having as a major discourse today on the show, looking at the Delta State government and the policies it's putting in place and what it should naturally be for Delta to really gain that prominent place among committee of states in the nation. And just like we had it some couple of weeks back, we're still having him join us on this lovely edition. And I'm talking of no other person but the governorship candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 general elections, or rather state elections in Delta State. And we're talking of no other person but Deacon Ken Pella. Good morning to you, sir, and thank you so much for joining us on this awesome edition. More like creating, setting the pace that Delta should follow as it concerns governance and development. Welcome to it, sir. Good morning, and welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Well, I would really want us to start by first, I really would love you to address what we talked about in our introduction, and it's the new dress code instituted. I know you are laughing. I'll plead with you to hold on. The dress code
when you were using it as an introduction, I was just telling myself, say, hey, God, hope this man don't want to ask me this question.
Well, sorry, I'll need to bring you on that and ask you this question. I want your reaction as it concerns the new dress code, especially looking at what the Nigerian Labour Congress in the state is saying, that more needs to be done in the provision of basic amenities in the office rather than going throughout the route of dress code.
Well, I will, on one hand, I will agree that a lot more needs to be done in terms of providing an enabling environment for productivity. That's the word I would use. So if I were in his shoes, yes, I just said, on one hand, I agree with government when they provide, if you they say dress as you would like to be addressed. So if our workforce is expected to be productive and professional, they should dress the way they would like to be. So if what is expected of a workforce is a certain kind of dress code, which is universal, so to speak, universal in terms of a corporate organization, then there's nothing wrong in asking them to do that. However, on the other hand, government should look at what NLC is saying about providing the right environment, about providing the right tools, about providing what is required for productivity. So both sides are right to a large extent, and the tools need to be put in place for people to be productive. Again, brings me back to the foundation, righteousness. The first pillar of our plan for Vision Better Delta is doing the right thing. The right thing in a corporate environment is to be dressed in a particular way. The right thing in a corporate environment is to provide the tools for productivity. So the next question I expect will be, what will we do different? I just told you. We would provide the right foundation.
Yes, you're not far from the truth, sir. Hello, sir. You seem not to be far from the truth, because many will say, yes, it's easy to criticize, but what will you do differently, and what will you do better than what we have now? So my next question, like you've just predicted, is what should be the way forward, especially as it concerns civil workers in the state? What do you feel, or where do you feel data needs to be as it concerns their welfare and indeed their working environment, with your vision?
Yeah, the main problem, when there's no accountability, accountability starts from a vision. It's the vision that makes you say, oh, am I keeping up with what I said I will do? I say again, I have said it over and over and over, Delta lacks vision. What are the deliverables? What are we aiming for? What does the more agenda stand for? What is the vision that the workforce are working towards? So what would I do different? The first thing, cast the vision, make it clear. They say, write the vision, make it plain on tablets. That's what the Bible says, that he may run who reads it. So that vision needs to be clear to the force. They need to catch that vision. I have vision of the three pillars of righteousness, harmony, and prosperity. And then the prosperity being driven by the 8 prosperity drivers. I believe that when we cast that vision right to the workforce, okay, and they see what they're working towards, and they see how what each person does affects the vision. So the cleaner in the office, how does, whether he cleans the office well or not, how does it affect whether we deliver on our 3 pillars and 8 drivers? When you are able to get them to understand that, if you tell them, say, wear like this, dress like this to come work, having provided the right tools. Having provided the right tools. So if it is that you would have an air-conditioned atmosphere 24/7, there's no breakdown in light. If it is that you have the computers and whatever that is required, if it is that productivity in the office is measured by the deliverables that you deliver, if you put that and you spell it all out, and they are seeing how their work affects their their movement and their what's the word to use? Career progression, so to speak. If you tell them to dress in a particular way, they would. So that's what I'll do different.
Giving us that insight on what you feel the workforce should be. But let's leave the workforce, because many will also say that Delta State is so civil service in nature. And there's every need for us to leave this civil service style of governance into a more of industrial hub. Well, yes, everybody will say Lagos seems to be the industrial hub of the country, but others are also saying Ogun State is also reaching out to be like that. But can't Delta also be seen as an industrial hub rather than a civil service state? And what direction do you feel we need to follow? Knowing that we have we have one of the major ports right here in Delta State that's still underutilized, if even utilized at all. So what should we do to change that narrative of Delta being a civil service state to a more industrious and productive state among community of states in the nation, according to your dream and your push and your vision?
Thank you for this question. To my plan. 3 pillars. So we lay the 3 pillars. The 3 pillars are the pillars of the foundation, so to speak, of the plan. The 8 prosperity drivers are the things that drive, and it's all about jobs, jobs, jobs. Okay? The first one, and I, in the last interview, the last time we met, I talked about the job creation manual that we published, and it is a 6-page document that breaks down in detail how these 8 prosperity drivers will provide jobs. If we are able to do that, Delta State that you're talking about, talking about being an industrial hub, will be more than an industrial hub. The first is power and gas utilization, all right, where we will turn our gas resources, okay, to power. We will turn them to jobs, basically. All right. So the job creation manual takes those drivers, and I went through a bit of power and gas utilization during the last interview. But so today, let me talk a bit about the 10 new cities. So there's power and gas utilization. There's the 10 new cities. All right. Construction is something that drives the process of economic growth. Okay. I said each of these drivers are carefully selected to catalyze growth in their various areas. So the 10 new agro-industrial tech-driven destination cities, okay, each city will be anchored on 5 strategic pillars. The first is energy and sustainability. The second is technology and innovation. The third is agro-industrial transformation. The fourth is multimodal transport, where you have roads, we have rail, and we're looking at Deltrack. You have air. I'm looking at Delta. Delta is the only state, I believe, in the country where you currently have two airports. So rather than driving 2 hours from Warri to Asaba, for example, if you have an air system that enables you to get to Asaba in 15 minutes, all right, I'm sure that flight will be fully booked round the clock. Okay, and if you have that kind of situation where you also use it to go to some of the riverine areas, those are some of the things that we're looking at. And then the deltaways, that's the riverine inland waterways. And then the Delta Technical and Talent Academies, okay, where we will, within each city, we'll have purpose-built technical universities innovation academies, and future work campuses that equip Delta's youth with 21st century skills in green energy, artificial intelligence, agrotech, advanced construction, digital fabrication, and the circular economy, preparing them for tomorrow's economy today. Now, in each of those cities, we'll have 10 embedded systems across the cities. Destination tourism and retail anchors, inclusive agro-industrial ecosystems, inclusive urban enterprise ecosystems, inclusive participation framework, smart education and learning ecosystems, integrated health and wellness ecosystems, governance and citizen engagement frameworks, green infrastructure and climate resilience strategies, safety, security, and disaster resilience frameworks, and sports and youth development ecosystems. Now, each city will be specialized by zone. So in the Undokwa-Okwani axis, we're looking at indicative sectoral focus on rice and agro-processing. And then the energy role will be gas to power hub and digital energy zone. In the Ughelli North-South Udu Federal Constituency, we'll have cassava and agro-logistics, and the energy role will be industrial energy zone. In the Bomadi Patani Federal Constituency, we'll have fisheries and aquaculture, and their energy role will be solar and hybrid mini-grid support. In Anyocha Oshimili, we'll have tech and digital economy, and their energy role will be grid-stable energy innovation labs. In Warri North, South, and Southwest, that's the Warri Federal Constituency, we'll be looking at petrochemicals and marine logistics for their indicative sectoral focus, and the energy role will be major oil and gas industrial complex. In Uye Okpe Saple, we'll be looking at trade, finishing, and supply chains, and the energy role will be energy power trade and industrial corridor. In Ika Federal Constituency, we'll be looking at horticulture and herbal medicine, and the energy role will be low intensity energy, renewable energy base. Ethiopia will be agro-logistics and warehousing.
I'll need to plead with you to hold on, because you spoke about something I want us to also look about before you reel all of that out. And it's the issue of agriculture. Okay. Now, if you still remember, just early this week, or last week to be precise, during the weekend, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu talked about crashing down the price of food. And everybody is saying, well, it looks as if the issue of food seems to be more of a central government concern rather than making it a state business concern. And I'm a bit curious, especially as it concerns that, because I heard you talking about breaking the different senatorial zones and cities into agric hub. Now, let's look at how that can also help transform Delta State. Rather than being a state that every other agro product will have to come in before we can be able to feed ourselves, how can we also be a powerhouse as it concerns agro and other when it concerns agriculture in itself, making agriculture a basic norm that we're able to feed ourselves and also have enough to export to other states?
Michael, the truth is, I don't even think federal government has any business with agriculture.
Okay.
They really shouldn't. It should be a state thing. When we had cocoa, Western region.
Yeah.
When we had palm oil, Eastern region.
Eastern region.
When we had groundnut in the north, was it a federal concern? Okay. No. These things have been carried to federal, as far as I'm concerned, as a way of chopping money. Okay? Agriculture should be a state concern. And if you recall, when we talked during the our last meeting, I talked about when I was comparing Nigeria with Dubai, and I said that, you know, when Delta was created, we had a lot more comparative advantage compared to Dubai. While Dubai was a desert, Delta has arable land across the length and breadth of Delta. All right? So that is what we're going to take advantage of. Each of the areas where we have a competitive advantage for a particular agri product, okay, we will turn that place to an agri powerhouse. All right? And then we will develop the full value chain for each of those products. So from the farm to the industry and packaged to go to the tables or for export. That's what we're looking at. And it will be true. So you're not hearing me talk about agrics the way people who don't have a plan will just talk, oh, we want to do agriculture. All right? From an economic point of view, as an economist, I have put everything into a holistic plan. So the cities, for the cities to survive, okay, they will build the ecosystems that will make them survive. And those ecosystems will include those agri value chain systems. All right? And it will be totally driven by the private sector. We will provide the enabling environment to attract the investments that will make this happen. All right? So it's the plan is holistic. And if you permit me to go on, so we basically are looking at smart urban design, multimodal transport integration, and then I'll go on to now. This is something interesting to look at: land to capital frameworks. Okay, youths and farmers will be empowered through convertible land titles, community land trusts, and credit-linked cooperatives, turning idle land. So as we build these cities, the idle land in those cities that are being developed will be turned into active capital for micro-enterprise, housing, and agro value chain entry. So people that were given lands to now, what is different to what's being done now? We want to empower people. Even when we talk about farmers, we give them starter packs. All right? To a large extent, these people, maybe when they do training, they start starter packs. But by the time you train these people and put them through a system where part of what you are giving them is a land document, okay? Land title to maybe their farm, land title to maybe their industry, the cottage industry or whatever. Those things can then be turned into capital that will then enable them continue to build their businesses. And remember, I talked about the social investment scheme, where we will give ₦1 million each to 100 people, ₦1 million each to 100 people in every local government every month. Okay?
I'll plead with you to hold on because of time, and we have a whole lot to talk about. Now, I want us to look at another major one that seems to be on the front burner, and it's the issue of revenue generation. Now, this government, and I'm talking about the Delta State government, said they've done enough as it concerns internally generated revenue. And if we look at the projections they've had over the years, they seem to have had a reasonable push as it concerns generation of internally generated revenue. Don't you feel it's the right direction they are taking? I'm talking about this very government.
Within the limits of what the fee do, if he didn't day. All right. If you let's look at Delta of before, Michael. Delta of before that we knew was a Delta where Warri, Sapele, and a few other cities were growing based on private enterprise. All right. They were growing based on private enterprise and not dependent on government. Today, that's a thing of the past. All right? So if you have limited economic activity, there's a limit to which you can generate in terms of internally generated revenue. But I would say that even that, I believe, can be improved when the right systems are put in place. I do not think that even right now we are getting the maximum that we should get, because I believe that we still have a lot of leakages in the system. However, I won't even look at it from that point of view. I would talk of baking a bigger cake. And our 8 prosperity drivers, first of all, the 3 pillars will ensure that we are able to increase whatever we are generating. Those 3 pillars of first, righteousness, accountability will ensure a curtailing of waste, will ensure that corruption is cut, and so on. The second pillar of harmony, all right, will ensure there's peace across the land so that we can attract some of the industries that have left. And then the third pillar of prosperity, where we would improve the life of our people with better roads, with better healthcare, and so on. Those would deal with our current situation and improve our generation. But more importantly, the 8 prosperity drivers will drive the growth, the process of growth that will enable us bake a much bigger cake and enable us generate more. I would like us to always think about it and look at it from that perspective. Okay? That perspective where we would improve jobs. Let me go at this point, to summarize the total effect of this, the total projected effect of these 8 prosperity drivers. Because of time, let me just go and summarize the total effect. All right? Now, we are looking at power and gas utilization, providing 800,000 new jobs. Do you know what that would do to pay? Estimated GDP impact will be between 3.5 to 4 trillion naira per year. And the key sectors that will be activated will be energy, tech, and agro industries. The 10 agro-industrial cities are projected to give us 1.5 new jobs by 2039. 6 to 7.5 trillion naira GDP impact per year. And the key sectors that will be activated will be agriculture, industry, and ICT. Social housing scheme is projected to generate 500,000 new jobs by 2039. GDP impact 2.5 to 3 trillion naira per year. And key sectors activated will be construction, finance, and material production. So construction materials production. The fourth is reviving moribund industries. That is projected to provide 1.2 million new jobs. Estimated GDP impact is 5 to 6.5 trillion per year. Key sectors activated will be manufacturing, agro industries, and trade. The fifth is reviving ports and waterways. Okay, that is projected to give us 400,000 new jobs by 2039. Estimated impact, GDP impact, is 2.5 to 3.2 trillion a year. Key sectors activated will be maritime, logistics, and the coastal economy. LGAs as development centers with fiscal autonomy will generate 500,000 new jobs and will impact the GDP by 2 trillion per year. Key sectors activated will be public works, local governance, and MSMEs. The LGA-based social investment scheme would generate over 2 million new jobs, okay? An estimated impact will be 1.2 to 1.5 billion per year. And it will affect the informal sector, digital finance, okay, and social services. And then for living wage and dignified work, it will generate 600,000 new jobs. Now, all in all, we are looking at over 7.5 cumulative new jobs, 24 to 29.2 trillion in new economic activity annually by 2039. Okay? Over 360,000 micro enterprises would be empowered with social scheme.
Stop you there,
Public and private
sir,
workforce
because of time. Because the reason we're also having this discussion is the issue. I'm happy you laid this out, because there's always a question of, yes, it's easy to criticize, but what other direction do you feel we can go? And you've just given us an insight on where you feel data needs to be, especially as it concerns the civil service that really brought up all this discussion, and the issue of job creation, which many will feel it's about time that Delta seems to take the lead. But anyway, we know time is not a friend, but we need to also ask you this very important question. Is the issue of peace in Delta State. Now, let's talk about the issue of security, which is also paramount. Because if we even have all that you have talked about, if there is no peace and no security in Delta State, or rather that plan will not be. So what direction should security need to be, especially as it concerns the Big Heart?
Okay. That is speaking to our plan for creating harmony. Now, the plan for creating harmony, again, starts with the foundation of righteousness. Once we've done the right things in terms of and all those things, we begin to focus on harmony. Now, in terms of harmony, our plan entailed a couple of things. But before I address those things, there's the issue of natural security. And when I talk about natural security, I'm talking about people who go into criminality. For a lot of them, do that because they don't have a choice. There are no jobs. There's basically hopelessness. So when we are able to cast hope that there will be jobs and we begin to create jobs, a lot of those people who go into criminality either make themselves available for thuggery. There's a quarrel, there's a communal crisis, and they make themselves available for it. The guy who is working and gainfully employed in an industry will not go and make himself available for a communal strife. All right. So when we are able to cast that vision and we are able to show that there's hope in terms of growth, jobs, and so on, that aspect of what leads to insecurity in terms of hunger-driven criminality will reduce significantly. That's on one hand. Now, on the other hand, you have the criminality that comes, or rather, you have the insecurity that comes from certain people invading our space, invading our forests, invading, and then, basically turning our forests to become insecure, stopping our people from going to their farms, stopping our people. That we will be very, very strict on. We will take no prisoners. It will be clear to everybody that our government will not take it lightly. Okay? We will make sure our forests are clear. We will make sure we will empower our community. There's no community in Delta today that doesn't have a community security system besides the police. Okay? Every community empowers their youth to protect them. Okay? So we would actively work with the community leaders, okay, to empower the youth of the community to ensure that, in quote, these, for lack of a better word, these criminals that are invading our forests and spaces are not allowed to do so. All right? Of course, working with the police. Okay? But it's something that we would actively work on. So first of all, we will ensure that we put in place natural security by ensuring that the youths have jobs so they do not fall back to criminality. We would empower our communities in terms of community policing to ensure that if someone who is not from a community enters the community people would know. So we would empower them and we will make sure that security is built across the land.
I'm talking of no other person but Deacon Kempela for being with us. Time is never a friend, especially there's no way we can truly exhaust all that needs to be, especially as it concerns Delta State, on one sweep. So we might be really doing this.
You know what, Michael?
Yes.
You know what, Michael?
Yes.
I would be very happy. It might be nice if we can take an aspect of our plan.
Okay.
And then I'll be very happy to come every week if you want, or every other week.
Well,
all right, so
we'll see how we'll make all of those arrangements. And as we do so, we'll definitely love to have you on board. We'll really like that. And just like what you've said, we'll see how we can create all of that to be. And most certainly we'll love to have you. But like I said, time is not a friend. And especially, we have a lot, especially as it concerns Viewpoint. But we can never go without thanking you so much. And I'm talking of no other person but Deacon Kempela, Labour Party chieftain. And also, if you remember, definitely the Labour Party governorship candidate in the last 2023 governorship election in the state. We truly appreciate your time. We know how busy you are, but when it comes to the issue of data, you always push everything aside to honor that call and have a discussion with us. Thank you so much for honoring that. We truly appreciate your time with us.
The pleasure is all mine.
Well, thank you so much. Well, anyways, that's how it is right here on the show. And well, we had a great discussion as it concerns every issue that concerns the big heart. And we're talking about Delta State. So we always implore you to remember to join us on our different social media platforms. Let's have your views. Drop those comments. Let's have your reaction as it concerns all our discussion, especially on dialogue, and be certain that in sooner or later time, we'll definitely also see a need for opening up the line so you can call in and have that interaction with us. Well, that promise will definitely keep very, very soon. But for now, we need to go on a break. And when we come, the news and trending will still make a very major one on Viewpoint on Atlantic TV.
My name is Desaka, comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
All right, guys, back again. Yes, boss. My name is Osh, baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up, people? It's your boy Victor 80.
Girl Ninyola.
My name is my wife and just celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV. We wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
I am SP Dafebright and this is Delta State Police Command. Today we'll be treating and addressing an issue that's different from what we've been doing before. Not parading suspect this time, but bringing to you a very important information. Do we know that over 85% of Nigerians do password their phones, whether it's Android phones or iPhones? There's always a password. But how come when we lose our phones, by the time we go to retrieve our lines, we'll go to our bank to check our bank statement, we discover that these people who collected these phones must have siphoned the phones. Now, there are times the people who steal these phones, it is not your phone that they actually need. What they need is your SIM card. Now, how does the SIM card become useful to them? Not just any SIM card, but a SIM card that is linked to your bank account, the one that you usually use to receive SMS alerts. That is what they need. Now, by the time they collect your phone, steal your phone, rob you of your phone, what they do is that they remove this SIM card from your phone and insert it on another phone. So your phone does not really need to power on. They don't even need you to give them your phone password. They don't even need your ATM password. The moment they have access to your SIM card, they can do anything they want to do with your bank account, because all they need is to generate an OTP, and the message, the OTP that is called one-time password, will be sent to that your SIM card, and with that they can do anything they want to do with your account. That is why people lose millions of their life savings simply because they lost their phone. By the side of this video, we'll be doing an illustration. You will see an illustration that talks on how you can password your SIM card. Now, the topic that we are here to discuss, passwording of SIM card. When you get a phone, pick that your phone now. See how you can password your SIM card. If you password your SIM card, by the time for any reason, your phone gets to the wrong hand, even if they remove your SIM card and insert on another phone, the first thing that you will get is a prompt that you should enter your SIM PIN. The moment they cannot get the SIM PIN, they cannot use your SIM card for anything. After the trial of 3, the POC prompt will come because the SIM card will be blocked, and you can only unblock that SIM card when you have the POC number. Some of us don't have our SIM pack, because on the SIM pack it is written there the SIM PIN and the POC number. But because some of us don't have our SIM pack, I would advise you to quickly locate the nearest office of your service provider, be it Airtel, Globalcom or MTN. Approach them and request for your POC number. Once you've gotten your POC number, you follow these instructions and ensure that you password your SIM PIN. Your SIM PIN is very, very important. On my phone, for instance, once you turn off the phone and you turn it back on, you must enter your SIM PIN. If you cannot enter your SIM PIN, the SIM card will be useless. And I'm telling you, once they cannot have access to your SIM card, your money will be safely in the bank. They cannot have access to. There was a time I lost my phone, and it took me about 2 weeks to go to MTN office to retrieve my SIM card. Why did I wait 2 weeks? Because I knew I had a SIM PIN. I knew they would not have access to my bank account. I knew they cannot even use my SIM card for anything. Some of these people, when they steal phone, we'll be hoping that, we'll track the phone. Some of them don't even sell the phone. They will just condemn the phone and just get the SIM card to see if they can have your money. Please, they say a word is enough for the wise. It is very, very important. Don't see this video and just pass it by. Watch this video to the end. We're almost approaching the end of the video. Ensure that you take the lesson. Please password your SIM card. They say a stitch in time save 9. It's very, very important. Make haste when the sun shines. Not be to call. You don't have to start running and start saying, what do I do? What do I do? When you can prevent it. Let's not forget, prevention, they say, is better than cure. Thank you.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Hi everybody and welcome to Wawu Africa. This is the official launching and it's your host QJ and Shay. And we are so excited to be here, guys. This is a brand new app girl. For women, Christocentric women,
it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. My expectations are through the roof. We have amazing guests here today, so stay tuned.
And we're gonna be back.
Yeah, we will be back. And access, a movement that believes in the transformative power of women's economic empowerment. Our mission is simple, yet ambitious, to provide a safe, inclusive and supportive environment, a safe, inclusive space where women can learn, earn, collaborate and thrive, where they can showcase their skills, share their stories and sell their products and services.
Every day I create, but no one sees me. Until now. Introducing Wow Africa. Learn. Showcase. Connect. Earn. Now, the world sees my worth and pays for it. Wow Africa, where women rise.
Okay, so the inspiration behind Wow Africa, it stems from women being dealt the lower hand, if I may put it that way. Because in corporate worlds, we see that men always get the better pay, they always get better roles, and if there is a woman in a good position, it is assumed that she did something to get that position. So we're trying to change that narrative where we are saying, look, women are not just meant for the kitchen. Women need to earn more as well. Women need to be heard. Women need to be seen for what they can do, for their skills, not just as some sexual object or some sexual toy, because that is one of the things that has been, or the major thing that has been tied to when you say I'm a woman. That is one thing that people see first. So we're trying to change that narrative. We want women to be out there doing big things just like our male counterparts are doing and not being dependent. We're trying to change that narrative of women are always so dependent on men. We want to be independent, not like we want to just do everything on our own, but we want to be able to stand as women in our various industries, as a lawyer, as a doctor, as an artisan, a content creator, whatever it is that you are. We want women to stand out there.
I think it's a beautiful and a fantastic phenomenon initiative that I think can metamorphose into things like skill acquisition for women, safe place for women training, etiquette for women, empowering women. We call it a man's world. I call it a gentleman's world because the gentleman puts the woman first. Yes. And so I think this is a phenomenal idea. If everyone has a sister, mother, a daughter, one of them, sister, mother, a daughter. So it's high time we started investing in the women and make this world a better place, a safer place for them. I'm thinking of a WOW counseling, for WOW rehabilitation, for drug addiction for women. I think it's something that is really huge that will begin to make. There are too many layers on what to do to make the world safe and safer for women. And so I believe that this is the beginning of the best days of this thing we just launched today. And so hoping for more.
Why did you decide to support Wawa Africa? What does it mean to you as a woman?
It means everything. I am a woman first, and personally, I am a strong advocate for the girl child and for women affairs. So anything women, supporting them, lifting them, you'll find me there. So, but as per this, my media outfits, we are very proud to give them the visibility that they need to reach their targets and where they wish to go, and give them every other support that they need to reach the women that we hope to reach. Women need to learn. It is a basic skill that they must have. They must learn, they must earn, they must grow, and they must learn to collaborate. That's why we are here. I have met some amazing women here. She leads Africa. She's here too. So it is amazing when women support each other. We attain amazing heights. So we cannot overlook the importance of collaborating with other people, other women like us. It is very, very, very important.
Yeah, Wawa Africa is an app that supports women. So what are your views on it?
In fact, it's a great idea because it will help women to be able to showcase their businesses. They don't need to, like online businesses now, they can have a space to put in their businesses and make, sell their products easily now for export. My expectations are really high. I've worked with the owner, the person in charge for a while, and I know he's a very brilliant mind and he has ideas, and this is one of them which has come to fruition. So my expectations are really high. It's a platform to help women be empowered, help women earn, help women scale up, and that aligns with the value of She Leads Africa. That's why we're here, partnering with them, encouraging them, and saying we're here, we're hailing you, we're behind you. We pray and hope that you scale, right, and achieve all your dreams.
Wawa Africa, where women rise.
Don't stop. So it has been an amazing experience, hasn't it? Oh my gosh, we have so many expectations from Wawa Africa, and it has been great vibing with you guys. It's your host QJ and She. Until next time, stay tuned.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined, uniquely different.
Good day and welcome to our daily news roundup. My name is Michael Gobadia. Here are our top stories. Federal government dragged Showore, Facebook X, to court over post against Tinubu. Renewed hope in action as federal government commissions 20-bed PHC in Ogun State. Now, tension in Warri, Ijaw youth clash with Kurode Ishekiri over billboard removal. And on the foreign scene, United States Embassy to Nigerians, visa fees are non-refundable. And talking sport, Arsenal snub SEAL Champions League win in Bilbao. Now to the news in full. The federal government has filed a 5-count charge against activist and former presidential candidate Omoyele Sowore for describing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as criminal in a social media post. The case filed at the Federal High Court in Abuja was entered by the Director of Public Prosecution, MB Abubakar. According to the charge, Sowore was contravened section of the Cyber Crimes Amendment Act 2024 and the Criminal Code Act. The Department of State Service has earlier written to both Facebook and X demanding that Showere's post be pulled down and his account suspended. The DSS also asked Sowore directly to delete the content, but he refused. Government prosecutors now say they will tender Showere's post as well as DSS letters to the platform as key evidence in court. The controversial post was made shortly after President Tinubu, on an official visit to Brazil, declared that his administration has successfully ended corruption in Nigeria. The case marked HC/ABJ/CR/484/2025 is expected to test the balance between free expression, cybercrime laws, and political accountability in Nigeria. Also listed as co-defendants in the suit are Meta International, owners of Facebook, and X International, formerly Twitter, where Showeri published the post on August 25th. The government insists the post was false, defamatory, and aimed at inciting lawlessness. Away for that, it was joy and celebration in Ishe, Olufin, Ifo, local government area of Ogun State, as the federal government commissioned a 20-bed Renewed Hope Primary Health Care Center. Speaking at the event, Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs, Prince Adejoke Adefilere, said that the PHC is not just a health facility, but a symbol of renewed hope. Aligning with the SDGs, the 3 goals of good health, well-being, she emphasized that the center reflects President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's commitment to inclusive development under the Renewed Hope agenda. The First Lady of Ogun State, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, who commissioned the project, described it as a lifeline that will provide maternal care, immunization, and essential medical services for families. Community leaders and residents hailed the center as a turning point for healthcare delivery, applauded the federal government for prioritizing the welfare of rural communities. The 20-bed center adds to several other PHCs and specialist hospitals being rolled out nationwide as the government pushes forward its drive to bring healthcare closer to Nigerians. The project delivered through the Office of the Senior Special Assistant and President on LGDs in partnership with the Ogun State government is part of effort to expand quality and accessible healthcare for grassroots communities. There was tension in Warri South local government area on Tuesday, the 16th day of September 2025, after a Joy youth reportedly attacked resident of Ukorode, Shekiri community. The violence followed the removal of coronation anniversary billboard belonging to the Ogbejo King by law enforcement agents. Community sources confirmed that no lives were lost in the clash. Although normal activities were briefly disrupted, the incident has heightened ethnic tension in Warri South, prompting security operatives to intensify patrol across the area. Authorities have appealed for calm and urged both sides to avoid further provocation, stressing that law and order must be maintained. For now, security remains tight in Warri as residents call for lasting peace between the Ijo and Ishekiri communities.
My name is Barrister Solomon Mesagulaja. I'm the legal advisor of Igbara Shekiri Youth. And with me this evening are my brothers. Today, we are jointly condemning the attack on Ekrede Shekiri, attack that was made by the Ijos of Ogbijo and other places. They came here today and taken Shekiri to attack our people. For the record, no Ishekiri youth went there to destroy any banner of their king. That's for the record. And also, it was the security personnel that went there to remove banners, not the Shekiri. So we wonder why this attack will be made on us. For the records, there are typical judgments bordering on this issue. Whether Ogbijo will have any business in Warri South. And the answer is no, they don't have. In 1964, the court barred them from claiming any rights in Warri South local government area. Also, in 2012 and 2022, different courts also banned them from claiming any rights in Warri South. So the court have told you that you don't have an interest in Warri South, why write your banner writing Warri South West and Warri South? It means you are looking for trouble. But in all of this, no Ishekiri youths went there to remove their banner. We are calling on the state governor to come and address the situation. We are also calling on security operatives to come and address the situation because, like we said, we don't want crisis, and these attacks on us, they are unjustified and unwarranted. So we are also calling on the state government and security operatives to help us facilitate the return of our brothers that were kidnapped. 4 of our brothers were kidnapped during the course of this attack. They were kidnapped from Ekrede Shekiri and taken by boat to unknown destination as we speak. As we speak, their families are in disarray trying to
Say the attackers, armed with stones and cutlasses, stormed the community unprovoked, but were quickly resisted by Shekiri youths who restored calm. The controversial billboard had earlier been dismantled by security agencies in compliance with the Supreme Court ruling. For now, security remains tight in Warri as residents call for lasting peace between Ijo and Shekiri communities. With just hours to end of emergency rule in Rivers State, the All Progressive Congress has openly invited suspended Governor Similaye Fubara to defect to its party. Speaking on a TV program, Nwaju said the APC would gladly welcome Governor Fubara, stressing that his leadership of the party will be automatic. He also added or addressed the 6-month tenure of the sole administrator, Vice Admiral Ibok Ekot Ibas, retired, noting that the APC has not officially demanded an account but expect the National Assembly Oversight Committee to release a report on his stewardship. Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has cut short his vacation in France and is returning to Abuja, while Governor Fubara is due back from London, ahead of Thursday's formal handover ceremony making the return of democratic governance in Rivers State. As the countdown to Thursday handover intensifies, public realignments are underway in Rivers, with Governor Fubara at the center of speculation over his next political move. APC spokesman Darlington Nwaju said Tuesday that upon his reinstatement on Thursday, Fubara should join the ruling party, adding that convention makes him the automatic leader of the APC in Rivers if he defects. Well, now the Nigerian Customs Service says it has commenced consultation with the Federal Ministry of Finance following the suspension of controversial 4% on-board levy on imported goods. In a statement signed by Customs spokesman Abdullahi Miwada on behalf of the Controller General Adewale Adeniyi, the service confirmed it was engaging the ministry and other stakeholders to explore alternative measures that will sustain service delivery. The statement clarified that the 4% FOP levy was approved by the National Assembly and aligned with international best practices, but concerns from stakeholders had necessitated dialogue. Customs pledged its commitment to revenue generation, international standard, and efficient operations in support of Nigerians' economic growth. Stakeholders' consultations are expected to continue in the coming days as the Finance Ministry and Customs seek a balanced approach to policy implementation. Customs explained that the levy was not an introduction under Section 18 of the NSC Act 2023, and as a funding mechanism for its operation for importers, agents, and partners of seamless trade facilitation during the suspension. Away from that, Nigeria's largest airline, Air Peace, has launched a graduate trainee program that will create 1,000 jobs for young Nigerians. The move comes in response of the federal government's suspension of the 4% free on-board levy on imports. Chairman Allen Oyema praised President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Finance Minister Wale Odun for the policy shift, describing it as a lifeline that saved the airline from collapse. He said Air Peace is reciprocating by offering fresh graduate opportunities to build careers in aviation and allied sector. Applications for the program are now open and will start here 2025. Oyema stressed that with more supportive government policy, thousands of additional jobs could be created in the aviation industry. We'll now go on a break, but when we come back, more as it concerns foreign, sports, and international. Let's go on a break.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
When the lights go out, who do you call? Tikado! Tikado Energy Solutions Limited, your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Ticado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Ticado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at ticado.com.ng. Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace.
Welcome back. Now the rest of the news. The United States Mission in Nigeria has reiterated that visa application fees remain non-refundable and non-transferable regardless of the outcome. The mission urged applicants to prepare their submission carefully and use the free resources available on its website to improve their chances. This follows growing concern on social media where many Nigerians describe the process as financially draining, especially when applications are rejected. The United States clarified that each application is renewed thoroughly or reviewed thoroughly and fairly, stressing that proper documentation and adherence to guidelines remain key to success. The embassy clarification comes as demand for U.S. visa continue to surge, with many Nigerians seeking opportunities abroad despite the high cost involved. In a statement posted on its official X handle, the embassy acknowledged Nigerians' frustration over repeated denials, but explained that the fees cover administrative costs, not visa guarantees. Now, to foreign news, prosecutors in Utah has formally charged 22-year-old Tyler Robinson with the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kay, who was shot killed during a university speaking event last week. Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray announced Robinson faces aggravated murder, a capital offense, along with 6 other charges including obstruction of justice and witness tampering. Gray also confirmed that his office will seek the death penalty. Robinson was arrested after a 33-hour manhunt and is being held without bail. Founder of Turning Point US and a close ally to to President Donald Trump, was a polarizing figure with a strong online following. Robinson is expected to make his first court appearance via video link later today. And talking sports, Arsenal opened their Champions League campaign with a 2-0 victory over Athletic Bilbao on Tuesday night, thanks to 2 late goals from substitute Gabriel Martinelli and Leonardo Tresford. Martinelli struck just 36 seconds after coming off the bench for the 2nd minute before Tresford sealed the win in the 87th. The pair combined to set up each other's goal, handing Mikel Arteta's side a winning start in group stage action at the San Mamés Stadium. Returning to the competition, or rather Bilbao returning to the competition after 11 years, started brightly, with Williams leading the line, but Arsenal's resilience and sharp finishing proved decisive. The Gunners now chase their first Champions League title after falling short in last season's semi-finals. And still talking sport, Bayern Munich manager Vincent Kompany says new signing Nicolas Johnson will not be under immediate pressure to perform for the club. Kompany, speaking after training, praised Jackson's personality and quick adoption to the squad. The coach expressed confidence the striker will score goals, but stressed he will be allowed to settle at his own pace. Jackson, on loan from Chelsea, is expected to boost Bayern's attack as they push for domestic and European successes. He faces a swift reunion with parent club when Bayern hosts Chelsea in Wednesday Champions League opener at the Allianz Arena. And that's the end of the news, but remember, you can send more, especially as it concerns the news, to our different social media platforms, and we'll be happy to have all of them. But for me, Michael Gobadio, God bless you. We'll see you later. Bye for now.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined, uniquely different.
Bible Church. Bigger, stronger, and bolder.
God did not create it like that. It is man that spoiled it. And the root is they are afraid that you will be better than them. Or they are afraid you are already better than them. So they have to stop you. It's a terrible world. And the people doing these things, they are not far. They are not far. Open your eyes. Be prayerful. Open your eyes. Aya komonu oko komonu ayare, akomonu ara, ajori o. Baba komonu omo komonu baba re, akomonu ara, ajori o. Wife no know the mind of the husband, husband no know the mind of the wife. They just dey waka dey go. Papa no know the mind of the pikin, pikin no know the mind of the papa. We just dey waka together dey go. Let me finish this thing quickly. The fear of failure or the fear of defeat. You see, you are not a failure because you failed. You are a failure when you allow the fact that you failed to take over your life. You know what it does? You cannot try again because you failed. So the fact that you failed doesn't make you a failure. It is what you do with the fact that you failed. Anybody can fail. Gather yourself and rise up again. The Bible says the righteous man falleth 7 times. How many times? I cannot hear you now. How many times? 7 times. And he does what now? He rises up again. Don't remain on the ground. Rise up. You are not a failure. Stop being afraid that you will fail. You know, in Numbers chapter 13, verse 33, that was why the 10 spies said to a whole nation, we saw the giants and we were as grasshoppers. I mean, oh, this thing is not good. This fear, it's not good though. How can a human being see another human being, no matter how tall the human being, now you see yourself as grasshopper? Have you seen a grasshopper before? Yes, sir. I was almost tempted to bring one. I don't know how I forgot. I wanted to bring it so that I can show you again. I know you know it, but I wanted to bring it physically. It's too late now. I was thinking of it, but it escaped my mind. I wanted to bring it to show you. Say, look at, how can a human being describe himself as grasshopper? Now fear. It's fear. Because if you go to chapter 14, verse 1, the Bible says the whole congregation, they had all night weeping. crying that they were finished. Hey, we are finished. Read it, read verse 1, read verse 2, read and see. Don't worry, there's no need. There's no need to go there. It is fear. Fear made a human being to describe himself as grasshopper. It's not your enemy saying you are grasshopper. You describe yourself. Oh, whatever has come over you that is making you see yourself so small as nothing, I come against that spirit. I bind it and I pursue it. I drive it from your life. Let it go, go, go in the name of Jesus. Everybody say go, 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 go. Open them and say go, 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 go. Go. In the name of Jesus, go. Go. Live my life, live my life, live my life, live my life, live my life. I'm not a grasshopper. I'm not a grasshopper. I am not a grasshopper. I'm a human being made by God, going somewhere to happen. Oh yes, you are a human being going somewhere to happen. Anybody laughing at you, let them keep laughing. Because you will laugh the last laugh. Yes, the last laugh belongs to you. If you believe me, let me hear your amen like fire. 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 Oh yes. Jesus. We will see you happen in this life. Not in the world to come, in this life. We will see you manifest in this life. That devil is a liar. Whatever it is that has worked against you, we walk against that thing. I bind the power behind it. Whether it's a human being or spirits, I bind them by the power of God. We don't serve a dead God. We serve a living God. He is the same yesterday. He is the same today. He is the same forever. If you believe it, wave your hand, shout yes. Wave your hand, shout yes, 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 yes. Shout yes, yes, yes. Oh my God.
Word of Life Bible Church. Bigger, stronger, and bolder.
Welcome back. If you're just joining, it's Trending O'Clock, and you know how we do it right here on Trending. We'll talk about all the trending issues and, of course, give our opinions about them. I am Mercy Irabo, and you know I am never alone in the studio. I have with me Michael Gubadia, and together we'll be spilling some tea today. So let's start with this whole cryptic pregnancy scam trending in Nigeria, Mr. Michael. So let's be clear, cryptic pregnancy is legit, but you say the one trending in Nigeria is the fake version of it. So clinics are out there cashing out on desperate women, telling them they are pregnant even when scans cannot detect it. And Bam Bam, one of Big Brother Niger housemates, stirred this pot online. She said there's this woman that has been pregnant for 3 years in her church. So please, let's see the clip. Yeah, a woman in my church at Dominion City, Lagos, carried her child in the womb for 3 years and 4 months and delivered safely. God is indeed amazing. Another family waited 12 years and just had twin boys. Miracle, no dey tire Jesus. God is in the neighborhood. It's your season. Okay, so somebody was pregnant for 3 years, like carried the baby for 3 years and just miraculously put to bed. So this medical voice came out, the bearded Shino, Dr. Shino came out to say that, trust me, the woman in your church is unlikely to have carried the baby for 3 years. She was likely injected with hormones to make her gain weight and have pregnancy symptoms like vomiting. Ask her scans were likely done only in one hospital. They would tell her not to go elsewhere. On the day of the said delivery, they knocked her and made her sleep with drugs and then gave her a stolen baby. It is a cartel of baby factories that give stolen children to desperate, middle-aged, to elderly, and women longing for children. They tell them it is cryptic pregnancy. So our favorite Twitter doctor, Aproko Doctor, also shed some light on this too. He said that he enlightened women about the pregnancy scam. There's a pregnancy scam going on. Anybody that tells you that another person cannot see the baby in your womb with an ultrasound scan is about to scam you. If there's a pregnancy, it will be seen by ultrasound scans. A lot of women are being scammed this way. Then they pump them full of drugs to mimic pregnancy and tell them not to do scans, then produce a baby and give it to the woman. It is a criminal act. This is terrible, Mr.
Well, yeah,
Michael.
It's terrible, and it brings to bear how far we've come as a people, especially when it concerns criminality. Just yesterday, there was a major bust in a orphanage in Asaba, Delta State, where they had newborn babies, about 4, in that very popular orphanage in Asaba. And not just only that, they had babies, children that were stolen all the way from Kano. They've been away from their parents for 7 years.
Can you
now,
imagine?
It's a growing syndicate that is now also graduating into the hospitals. And you know how serene and how highly respected the hospital environment is, especially as it concerns ethics. But it is quite depressing that we're having such scam. I would totally agree with the doctors that there's no woman, come on, you either be in the Guinness Book of Record in having to have the longest pregnancy rather than just coming out and praising God that after 3 years you finally put to bed. It is all, like you said, I'll not call it cryptic pregnancy, I'll call it scamming pregnancy. That's the pure name for it. It's a scam. You cannot have or be pregnant for 12 years and finally give birth to twins that are still babies. They might have been grown men by then. So I really don't understand all of this. It doesn't make any medical sense. It is racketeer. It is syndicate that's operating on desperate, like he said, desperate, aged, middle-aged women, and indeed, it looks as if they are cashing in.
So like I said, there's real cryptic pregnancy, the legit one where a woman does not know she's pregnant until it is very late, and sometimes until when it's labor time that she knows that she's pregnant. But you said these clinics, the one they do here in Nigeria, they tell you that you are pregnant. They give you some hormonal drugs, maybe herbal.
To make you mimic all those signs of pregnancy.
Pregnancy. You might even spit and all of that, have swollen face, swollen stomachs and all of that, and think you're pregnant. And they'll tell you, don't go to other hospitals because when you go there, they won't, scan will not detect the baby because the baby is not in the womb, but in the waist. Like, how come a baby would grow in the waist region and you're having swollen stomach? That is something, like, I feel these people are not just desperate, they are gullible. Because how can somebody tell you that the baby is not in the womb, but at the waist region, and you're having swollen stomach? Like, it doesn't really make any sense.
It doesn't add up.
It doesn't really make any sense. So, and at the end of the day, they will tell you, you're supposed to pay certain amounts of money to be able to deliver your baby. And if you're and the money is always huge amount of money.
Outrageous.
Yes, if you're not able to bring this money, you would carry this pregnancy till whenever you're able to bring this money. So now tell me, are you not supposed to suspect anything? And then this brings me to the question of DNA. When they say Nigeria has Nigeria is high on this paternity fraud, and sometimes I just try to think about this cryptic pregnancy scam in Nigeria.
As a part of it.
Yes, imagine a woman that went through this cryptic pregnancy, and then she's having this child, and the father decided to do this paternity test and found out that this child is not his. Yeah. But at the end of the day, he might think it's infidelity, not knowing that this baby was gotten from this whole pregnancy scam in Nigeria.
Mercy, do you know what I feel? I feel desperate women understand that this is all scam, but they still just fall for it out of their desperation. Yeah, because a normal educated, even if you're not educated, will know that 9 months or even 10 months at most, or 8 months at least, 7, it's enough for the full circle of pregnancy. And yet they just still want to believe in their desperation that, well, it is right. Yes, I feel the baby, does the baby ever kick? Should the baby not kick? Should the baby not draw you? Should the baby not, come on? And all those signs never come. So it's really.
And until you are able to afford the fee, that's when you'll be able to deliver.
Then that's enough reason for you not
to doubt. Because I saw one lady, she posted on Facebook, she said that her brother's wife has been pregnant for a certain number of years, and then they asked them to bring, was it 2.5 million naira, and they're still trying to raise the money, but this woman would not deliver until they're able to afford it. And she said she doesn't know what is wrong. So people started saying on the comment section that this is pure scam. That is trending in Nigeria. And she said she doesn't even know how to tell this to her brother or the wife, because she doesn't even know if they are aware, if they know about all of this, or it's a real scam. So the truth is, don't fall. Women out there, people who are really trying to cash out from your desperation, please don't try to fall for this scam. Don't fall for this scam, because you might not have issues at the beginning, but somehow along the line, your husband might try a DNA test and it comes out negative, and then you'll be held responsible for infidelity. So try as much as possible not to fall for this scam, because it's happening in Nigeria. Well, away from that, so we got this really heartbreaking story in Agbaru community right here in Delta State, Nigeria. And women and parents took to the streets to protest about the incessant disappearance of children, especially twins. So they said children of aged 3 and 10, and over 26 children just went missing suddenly. Some went to school and never returned. Others just went missing while playing. And this is really, really heartbreaking. Please, let's see the footage of the protest. Mr. Michael, this is really heartbreaking.
Well,
you know, the fact that the target is even twin. And you know, the most frustrating part is that they've reported to authorities, and then there's like zero progress. They've not heard of any child being recovered and all of that. It is frustrating and heartbreaking. Mr. Michael, what's your take?
Well, I feel more needs to be done. Now, it's only right we state this fact that this is not the first time it's happening. It has now been happening for 1 year and 6 months. On almost a monthly basis, a child is being stolen right there in Agbaru. And it's really baffling that no arrests have been made, no recoveries have been made, and yet the problem still persists. It's all bringing us back to our initial talk of a syndicate that seems to be going around and stealing children.
Babies,
and it is just disheartening, especially as a parent. When you lost a child, You never know whether he's alive or dead, or whether he's being treated well or he's being used for ritual. It gives every parent every need to have sleepless nights, and I plead with the needed security agencies to do the needful. Let's see how we can bring all of this to an end and indeed put peace back to that very lovely community.
We hope the government intervene. We hope the authorities do their work. We want to hear arrest. We want to hear of cases where they recover most of all those children, because it is becoming too much for the parents to come out to protest. Like, it is terrible. So we really hope that
26 already.
Yes, over 26. That's if they can even count properly. So the truth is, they really need to intervene in this issue of children kidnapping in Agbaru community in Delta State. Well, when we get more updates, if there's any case of recovering of any of the child, we'll definitely update you. So away from all of this serious gist, Mr. Michael, let's go
it's
to...
becoming too serious.
Yes, it's becoming too serious. And you know, I don't like serious stuff. So let's go into celebrity gossip.
Well, anyway, juicy.
Juicy. So Tiwa Savage finally opened up about a past relationship with a celebrity, a misery celebrity. So if you're trying to guess names, hold up, she never mentioned any name. So she said that she was in this relationship with this mystery celeb, and it has really left her drained, emotionally exhausted. And she said it wasn't even just the cheating parts alone, that the lies, the disrespect, the constant emotional roller coaster. So it is really terrible. And you trust Nigerians now. The internet detectives, they are out there trying to connect the dots. Who could that be? Who could that be? But Tiwa never mentioned any names. So we'll do the cams. Mr. Michael, what's your take on this?
Well, anyways, I'm still trying to press my phone to make some checks to see who that celeb will be. But anyway, I've not been able to do that. But it brings me back to the issue of, well, it will not be right if I say this, but I need to. You know, when you have a good thing going, continue with it. That's just the idea. Herself and her husband, her former husband, who she has a son for, you know, there's every need to quarrel.
Yeah,
but resolving those issues were best. He's now married, living his life, and now she's going through a roller coaster of deceitful celebs. And, you know, the pain is there. I could still remember early this year, she came out to say that she was lonely and would definitely be needing a relationship. Who would not, especially as a successful woman? But sometimes you need that cuddle, you need that show of love, and you need that feeling of, yes, I'm not just alone.
Well, it takes a lot of guts for superstars to come out to spill the tea like this, to talk about their personal relationship. It takes a lot of guts. And I think she said she, this whole heartbreak thing inspired her new album, This Is Personal. Well, you know, it's almost time, so I think this is where we have to draw the curtain, sadly. But you don't want to miss tomorrow's episode, tomorrow's edition of Trending. Of course, it will be juicy, just like today. I had a really nice time. Yeah, Mr. Michael?
Well, anyways, the gists are always so interesting on the mind, sometimes provocative.
Yeah.
But, well, Trending will always come up every weekday, as much as we also do Viewpoint. But all the same, well, we've come to the end of Viewpoint itself. And it has been a very great day, from the papers down to dialogue, 2 parts, and now to Trending. And remember, the news came also. Well, it's time for us to go.
Yeah,
I'm Michael Bobadia. God bless
and
you.
I am Mercy Irabo. Have a nice day.